What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Powered by Primus, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys two separate deck lists. One is going to be a little more fun casual, which still packs a really big punch, and then the other one is going to be a little more tailored towards the meta side of things. It's going to have a little more things that are more specifically in tuned for a lot of the decks that are kind of running around. So it is going to be General Optimus as our main character here. This character has gotten a lot of love recently, and is a really good character just because of his stats and really what his character is built to do. Now with both of these decks, we're going to be pushing a little bit towards the later ends of the games, trying to really take advantage of the late game. So we're going to be trying to slow roll in the beginning, kind of get our stuff set up. We're going to be trying to KO those little characters when we can, and really try to finish it out towards the mid to late game because of what Prime can do, and really just the stats on this monster. Now first off, we're going to talk about Skydive here. Going to be coming in with the Tough 2, is a specialist, which is going to be relevant in the more casual version, and then does have 3 attack, 8 health, 1 defense, and again, that Tough 2, really nice because this deck is going to be way more towards the blue side of things. We're going to have some mixed stuff in here as well, but definitely towards the more blue side, so that Tough 2 is obviously going to become really relevant. Now Flame War coming in on this side is going to be 3 attack, 10 health, and 1 defense. It does say when you flip to this mode, each of your characters gets below 1 until end of turn. Now I have used this flip ability a couple of times, but she is obviously and mainly in here for this side. Again, she's going to be a specialist, which is going to be relevant. Gets to keep the same as stats, 3 attack, 1 defense, but it does say each of your characters has Tough 1. Again, we're going to be on that heavier blue side of things, so being able to give our team Tough 1 is really, really nice, just to really help us get to that late game, take as minimal damage in the beginning as we can, so we can, again, push towards that late game. Now, Prime coming in here is going to be 3 very relevant stats on him, or at least subtypes. Is going to be a leader, a truck, and a ranged. Again, they all do matter in both of the lists because of some of the things that we are going to be doing, and some of the shenanigans in the more casual side because of the truck, whereas the more competitive version was we're going to lose that truck part, but we're going to be able to keep the leader and the range. Does have 7 attack, 21 health, man, monster, and 2 defense. While in this mode, that 7 attack is also really nice. It does have 3 utility slots while in both modes on the character, which is going to be very relevant in really both deck lists, but far more in the competitive side of things because we're going to be doing some really fun stuff. And then it does say when you flip to this mode, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an action, you may play it. We're going to flip over to this mode. We're going to lose the truck, obviously, and we're still going to be a leader and a range. Going to get 8 attack and then keep that 2 defense, which is really, really nice. The 3 utility slots are the same again. And then it says when this attacks and you flip at least a orange and a blue battle icon, may play one of your flipped upgrades onto this after the battle. Now, you don't have to choose whether it's an orange and a blue. You can't just select the Matrix of Leadership. However, if you want to, you can. You can pick any upgrade from the pile of cards that you did flip when it came to attacking. So that's really, really nice stuff. It doesn't matter exactly what upgrade you want, as long as you meet those criteria of an orange and a blue battle icon being amongst the cards you flip, then you get to play any of the upgrades, which is really nice. Then obviously us having 3 utility slots, we're going to be really doing a lot of stuff and really being able to push Prime to some pretty extreme lengths and be able to really maximize how much damage that we are going to be able to do, as well as blocking here and there. And we need to, because this character is honestly a monster of a character. He's a really good character. The deck builds a lot of it itself just by looking at him and really what he requires from you. So with that, let's get into the more casual deck list first, and then we'll jump into the more competitive one. Now, the first thing we're going to be talking about here is upgrades, and that's because we want to start with just the main point of the casual build, and that's going to be Cargo Trailer. Now, Cargo Trailer has always been a very interesting card. Some people think it's really good, some people think it's really bad. Really, the toughest part about Cargo Trailer is just its inconsistency as far as getting the card. The card itself is really powerful. Now, the way I want to break it down is you get to put this on trucks only, so obviously we're going to be putting it onto our Prime, and then it says the upgraded character has +1 attack for each Cargo Trailer on it, and then up to 3 Cargo Trailers can fit in 1 utility slot. Meaning you can have all 3 of these bad boys in 1 utility slot, and with Prime, you still have 2 more utility slots, which is actually very, very relevant. I'm going to be showing you guys another card here to where we really start to push a lot of these things and really try to maximize those utility slots. And it's one thing that I did learn from previous decks with the Predaking deck and the Jetfire deck, is that I wasn't able to really maximize on the slot that I wanted to, as far as more with the Jetfire, because you really want to do all the things on Jetfire while he's in his play mode trying to get to the multi-missile pods. However, the effect only worked while battling, so you had to be in the bot mode. However, Prime is going to be the perfect character. We're going to be able to put all the stuff on him while he's in truck mode, attack, and be able to get these things back, which is going to be really, really nice and extremely relevant that we have multiple utility slots, because if we didn't, this would not be able to work. Now, the next thing talking about is how these things stack. Obviously, 3 will fit in one slot, and in the way that the cards are read, it gives a +1 for each other. So if you have 1 down, I'm sorry, for each cargo trailer. So if you have 1 down, you get +1. If you have 2 down, it's going to be +4. Each one of these is going to trigger for themselves. So this cargo trailer is going to count itself and this one, and then this cargo trailer is going to count itself and this one. So this is going to be +4 with the 2 on there, and then when you add this one, obviously it's going to be 3, 6, and 9 damage, which is a massive, massive amount. While we are in Prime in this mode, that 9 + 7 is going to be bringing you in for 16 damage, which is really, really good stuff. And then, of course, once these are on a character, or once you put them all in Prime while he's in truck mode, you can now flip to this mode. You don't have to worry about these falling off. They get to always stick around. So then now we're getting in for 17 damage. So crazy, crazy amounts. And that's why I was saying that you guys can really not really worry about orange battle icons in the deck, because we're going to be able to push enough damage with these bad boy cargo trailers. Now the next 3 coming in here are going to be one of the cards that we're going to be using for our shenanigans, and that is going to be Metal Detector, coming in with a black and a green battle icon card. The black, not relevant for the Pierce, but the green is actually extremely relevant, because now we get to pick that up after combats. And it says, when the upgraded character attacks, you get to reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an upgrade, you may play it. Boom. We were talking about it. It's really nice, because if you were in this mode and you happen to have this on here and you do attack, even if you happen to reveal a cargo trailer, you unfortunately can't do anything with it because you are not in truck mode. However, while we're in this mode, we get to attack, and if we get to reveal a cargo trailer, boom, it immediately gets put onto Prime while we're still attacking, so we get those benefits from the attack, whether it's 1, 2, 3 cargo trailers, whatever the case may be. This is going to allow us to be able to set up a lot of those, because we're going to be doing multiple things to really mess with the top of the deck. So Metal Detector is most likely going to always be able to net us more upgrades, so we can keep upgrading Prime, because again, he's going to be the main character in this list, and we are going to have him jacked with upgrades. Next 3 coming in, and it's only fitting that Prime is on the art itself, is going to be Energy Pack. It is an orange battle icon, helping us out on attack and helping us with half of the ability when it comes to the bot mode attack. This is a really, really good card. It is an upgrade utility. Again, Prime's got 3 utility slots, so we can have Energy Pack, a Metal Detector, and 3 cargo trailers on him in just the utility sections, which is pretty insane that you can have that many. We're going to be doing a lot of really cool stuff with that. And then it does say put on characters that are on 11 stars or more only. Obviously, Prime is 15, no problems there, and the upgraded character gets +4 health. So even if you're in whatever kind of predicament you are, Metal Detector's not working out for you, you have 2 energy packs and 3 cargo trailers, you know, you're gonna be able to gain 8 health off of this, and then now your Optimus Prime is sitting at 29 health, which is really, really crazy. And then obviously you can even play the third one if you really kind of want to go all out. That's going to be 4, 8, 12 on top of the 21, bringing you to 33 health. So that is crazy, crazy amounts of health on that Prime. The next 3 coming in here, because we're always going to be messing around with a lot of shenanigans as far as stacking the top of the deck or whatever else the case may be, is going to be Extra Padding. Now, Extra Padding is also really awesome as just a card itself. It is a blue and a green battle icon, so the blue helping us out on defense, green allowing us to fish it after combats. Again, really, really important. It is an upgrade armor, and it says when you put this on a character, you may play another Extra Padding. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't know about this card is that, let's say we want to put an Extra Padding down on our Prime here, no problem. Well, that Extra Padding allows us to play an additional Extra Padding. We can even choose to put that other one onto our Skydive here. It does not require it to be put onto the same character. And then even again, let's say we have the third one and we want to drop that on a Flame War, we totally can. Now, I don't suggest that you do this. However, it is a very relevant thing. Sometimes you can do this, especially if your opponent's running a lot of removal, or they're really trying to pick off these littler characters, or you really want to make them stick around. You can even just go 1 Extra Padding, and then you can even double stack it onto another character. Or again, obviously you can put all 3 onto 1 character. It's really whatever you would like to do. And then finally, about the card, it does say that the character does get tough 1. So obviously with all 3 on there, you get tough 3. The really nice part about Extra Padding as well is that it's really resilient to removal from your opponents. Even if they haven't played a Vaporize, boom, only gets rid of 1 of them, you still have access to tough 2 and 2 of those around. Even if your opponent plays a Bashing Shield after that, they've used 2 cards, they've used up their turn essentially, and you still have access to tough 1, which is really nice. These get put back in the scrap pile, eventually shuffled back, and because of the green battle icon, we eventually get them. The next three coming in here is going to be Field Communicator. Now, I did say that those characters being specialists specifically did matter, and it's because of this card right here. First off, it is a white battle icon, helping us flip 2 more on attack for Prime's ability, and 2 more on defense, obviously just to make sure our characters stick around a little bit longer. It is an upgrade utility. You can put this onto Prime. It does still give +1 attack. However, if you do put it on a specialist, you get to reveal the top card of your deck, and you may play that card. Again, we're going to be manipulating the top of the deck. We're going to be trying to get more cargo trailers out, or maybe we're trying to go for more energy packs because Prime's a little low on health. Whatever the case may be, we're going to be stacking the top of the deck, and then Field Communicator is going to be a really nice upgrade to play for the turn for us to be able to play that card off the top. Now, most of the cards that we're going to be manipulating with the top of the deck are going to be from the scrap pile. However, there are times when we're going to be manipulating our hand to put a card back on top for a specific reason as well. But this is just a really, really nice card to help us really get those cards off the top of the deck when we do indeed fact put them there. And then again, we can put it on Prime if need be for that +1. The next two going to be coming in here is going to be Matrix of Leadership. Now, we talked about how he is, Optimus Prime is a leader, so obviously it's fantastic. It is an orange and a blue battle icon helping us on attack and on defense, and this immediately procs this ability from Prime. As long as we flip an orange and a blue, boom, it's an orange and a blue, so it'll automatically proc this ability, which is really, really nice stuff. It says put on Autobots only. Obviously, Prime's an Autobot. And then it says, while this is on a leader, each of your other characters get +1 and Pierce 1, which can be nice because those little characters sometimes don't really get to push a lot of damage. So that Pierce 1 just might be relevant just to get a basic poke in there. And then it does give +1 attack. And again, is a utility, so we can continue to stack a bunch of these cards on top of our Prime to really, really use those utility slots. Next two coming in here is going to be Sparring Gear. Sparring Gear is an orange battle icon, helping us out on defense and half of Prime's ability when it comes to attack. Helping us out on attack, and then helping us out with Prime's ability when it comes to attacking. And then is a green battle icon, so we get to fish it after combat. Again, really, really nice stuff. It is an upgrade armor, and then does give us Tough 2. It's mainly in there to be able to help us with Prime's ability and just to make sure that we always have access to Tough. Let's say we haven't seen our extra paddings too much, we want to get those Sparring Gears out. Or if we know our opponent just picked up a Bashing Shield, maybe we pick up a second Sparring Gear so we can make sure that we're always having that Tough, because again, we're trying to really get to that late game. The next two coming in here are always going to be following Prime wherever he goes, and that's going to be Ion Blaster of Optimus Prime, known as a blue battle icon, helps out on defense. It is an upgraded weapon. It says put on Optimus Prime only, which is really nice, so obviously it goes on to him. It does give us +2 attack and 1 defense, which means he's going to be swinging for a base of 10 while in this mode, with 3 armor, or getting in for 9 with 3 armor over here. 3 armor is actually a really relevant number. It's super, super powerful. Even if you were to flip naturally a couple of blues, now you're looking at 5 defense, you have Tough on top of that. It's going to be really hard for your opponent to be able to really punch through and get damage onto Prime. And then even if they do, maybe we're talking 1 or 2 points, and seeing as how he has 21 health, it is going to take your opponent a very long time to get through his health pool. And then finally, as a one of in the list, is going to be Drill Arms. Again, we're going to be manipulating a lot of the stuff from the scrap pile back on top of the deck, and this can be really nice to remove a lot of armors when our opponent gets in the way, with maybe some force fields or even some Tough of their own, whatever the case may be. But Drill Arms is a blue battle icon, help us out on defense. It is an upgrade weapon, does give us +1 attack, and then it says put this on a character, you may scrap an enemy armor, and then if they don't have an armor, you get to draw a card. So even in worst case scenarios, you get to play this for the +1, and you get to cycle it out for another card. Whenever it comes to cycling in card games, it talks about really essentially getting rid of that card to pick up another card. So we're going to be playing this, which is going to get rid of it from our hand, and then allows us to draw one, which essentially replaces it back into our hand. Now talking about actions, and our first one coming in here, because we were talking about manipulating a lot of the top of the deck, is going to be Incoming Transmission. Now first off, this is an orange battle icon, help us count on attack, and half of Prime's ability when it comes to attacking. It does say draw 2 cards and then put a card from your hand on top of your deck. Now this is going to be really perfect when it comes to talking about Metal Detector, because what this essentially is going to let us do is draw 2 cards, put an upgrade on top of our deck that we want for free. We still can play an upgrade for the turn, whether that's even just playing the Metal Detector or still playing a different upgrade. We can then attack, reveal the top card. It's obviously going to be what we want it to be, an upgrade for Metal Detector because of Incoming Transmission stack, and then boom, we get the card for free. So it's a really nice thing to be able to draw and set up. You can also even put a Matrix of Leadership on top of your deck if you want to instantly proc Prime's this ability. You know, bam, you get to get in there and attack. Obviously, the top card you reveal is an orange and a blue, and then you're free to be able to get in for whatever kind of upgrade you want to be able to get. Now, I will tell you that's going to be the main differences between these two lists. In this list, the more casual one I'm going to be showing you guys, you're going to be attacking 99% of the time in this mode because you want to make sure you're getting your cargo trailer triggers. Whether even if you don't know if cargo trailer is on top of your deck, but you know you have 2 left in the deck and maybe say you have 15 cards, you still want to attack in this mode because even if you happen to be in this mode, you can't play cargo trailer off of the ability because you're not a truck. You have to be in this mode, which is why we're going to be attacking in this mode. However, the more meta build, or I don't really like using that word, but however, the more competitive build that we're going to be doing, you're going to be attacking 99% of the time while in this mode, because obviously we don't care about the cargo trailers. We're going to be flipping to this mode to get that free ability off of the free action, and then we're going to be flipping back to this mode to make sure that we are punching things in this mode to try to get as many upgrades as we can onto Optimus Prime. The next 3 coming in here are going to be Reclaim. For almost the exact same reasons as Incoming Transmission, we have a blue battle icon helping us out on defense, and then it says put an upgrade from your scrap pile on top of your deck, and then technically if your tower is 3 or higher, draw a card. Now obviously we are not running Constructicons, so there is no tower. You'll never have to worry about that second part, but this card is something that I use in a lot of my decks to really be able to stack the top of the deck. To be able to take advantage of the scrap pile is a really powerful thing. I do have a video coming out for you guys soon that talks about all the different zones in the Transformers TCG and really how you guys can maximize each of those zones and better understand board state soon. So in that one, I'll kind of get to talk a little bit more about that. But essentially, the scrap pile is a zone, and if we can take advantage of using that zone, then now we're increasing our chances of being able to see more cards, do more things, whereas in most situations the scrap pile is just the scrap pile. So this card's really nice to be able to put stuff on top of our deck. We're mainly going to be putting our cargo trailers on top of our deck. Again, so if you have that metal detector down on your Prime, you get to play Reclaim, put that cargo trailer on top of the deck, boom, you get to crash and you get to reveal the cargo trailer and it goes right onto Prime, which is really, really nice stuff. The other thing that you can do is that, again, we're low on health, let's go for an energy pack. We want to break opponent's force field, let's go for that drill arms. We need that ion blaster off this Prime to start pushing damage here. Let's go ahead and put that on top of the deck. This thing really allows you to do crazy, crazy stuff. And this is a combo between these two that I run in quite a bit of decks. I've used it in Shockwave before, although Shockwave allows you to play stuff off the top of the deck himself, so sometimes Metal Detector is really not that necessary with him. However, it's nice. Really good with Jetfire to be able to get a lot of that stuff off this Prime, Predacons. I've been doing a bunch of stuff with it. This is a combo that I really, really, really love, and I'm going to be using it for a long, long time. The next 3 coming in here is going to be Equipment Enthusiast. Now, Equipment Enthusiast is a white battle icon helping us out on attack to help get Prime's ability, as well as helping us out on defense for a couple of more blues. It does say draw a card for each of your upgrades. Now, you guys get to kind of see if we have, 3 extra paddings on a character on Prime, we'd have, a metal detector, maybe an energy pack, and an ion blast. When you play this, you just get to straight, draw 6 based on those. Is really, really good stuff. So this card always usually nets me between 3 to 7 cards, which is really, really good stuff. It just allows you to refill your hand, gives you way more options, and obviously this deck is all about getting those cargo trailers as just a really fun thing. However, you could even take those 3 cargo trailers out and this deck be super solid, which is why we're going to talk about the competitive version. However, this card just really gets to net you a lot of cards, but we're really focusing on a lot of upgrades, and this is going to be really nice to help us dig for more cards. The next 3 coming in here is going to be Hidden Fortification. Now, it is a blue battle icon helping you out on defense. It is a secret action, and then it does say when one of your characters defends, you get to reveal it, and that character gets tough 3. Now, the main reason behind this is because this gets around any of our opponent's removal. We get to play this bad boy face down. I recommend that you use some type of token or something so you don't forget about it, because it is a trigger that you have to remember. And then your opponent does go into your character, and then no matter how many armors or what you have on there, boom, you get to reveal that, and you get that tough 3. This has helped me. I can't even tell you how many times it was one of my way forward cards to spoil, and ever since I've seen it, it has been absolutely amazing. I do think that it is probably one of the best actions in the game, especially when it comes to a more defensive deck. This card is just always absolutely amazing. Now, the one thing that I will notate, or I guess talk about, that I kind of talked about in the beginning of the video, is that when you're in this mode and boom, you flip over to this mode, that you get to reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's an action, you may play it. So obviously, all of these cards I'm going to be showing you guys here in the action section are going to be able to get played for free off the top of the deck, which is really, really nice stuff. I haven't really talked about the combo I'm going to show you guys here in just a second, but you get to essentially play an Incoming Transmission. You get to draw 2 cards and put something back on top of the deck. Now, you can even stack a Reclaim at this point on top of the deck. You can then flip Prime, and now you can play the Reclaim off the top of the deck, or an Equipment Enthusiast, whatever else the case is. Boom, you get that card's effect, and then you can still, even if you use the Reclaim, put put another upgrade back on top, and then attack. So it allows you to still draw your 2, still play another action for the turn, and still get your upgrade without playing your upgrade for the turn. You still get to play your upgrade. So you can definitely do a lot of really cool, crazy shenanigans with this list. The next 2 coming in here are going to be Sabotaged Armaments. Now this card is just always fantastic. It's really just a great card. It is a blue battle icon, help us out on defense. It is a secret action. It says reveal when one of your characters defends, you get to scrap all the attacker's weapons. So it's really just a nice way to help minimize how much damage you're taking. Your opponent goes for a grenade launcher, your opponent goes for whatever else. This does allow you to be able to block a lot of that stuff, get rid of those things. Now I will say that I did put out an email to the Wizards team involving a specific interaction. Once I know more about that, I will talk to you guys because I think there's a few things that do get around Sabotage Armaments that we just want to get some clarification on. Next 2 coming in here is going to be Marksmanship. It is a blue battle icon, and then it does say if you have a ranged character on the battlefield, you can do 2 damage to an enemy in bot mode. Now you do have to remember that it does have to go to an enemy in bot mode, but you may be like, Jamie, you only have 1 ranged character, the other 2 are specialists. Well, Prime will always be there. He will be your last character to go down, so you will always be able to play Marksmanship. He's also ranged in both modes, so you don't have to worry about what mode you're in. Essentially, it's just going to be a blue battle icon that does 2 damage to an enemy character, which can be really relevant if you happen to do a big swing, your opponent has a couple health left, or in my case where the enemy always has 1 health left, I'm able to Marksmanship that character away, and then I can go back into attacking another character because you really don't want to send Prime in for 17 damage with 3 cargo chillers into someone that has 1 health remaining. It's a really, really sad thing to do. Now the next few are all going to be 1s coming in here. First one's going to be Treasure Hunt, an orange battle icon helping us out for half of Prime's ability, and on attack, it does say scrap the top 4 cards of your deck and put all upgrades, scrap this way into your hand. Obviously you guys saw that we are heavily, we have more upgrades in the deck, so we really just get to help see a few more cards, which is really, really nice stuff. Next one coming in here is going to be a Reprocess. This is a green battle icon allowing us to get it after combat. It does say scrap an upgrade from any character and you get to repair 2 damage from that character. Now I've been using this far more to remove an upgrade on my side to be able to repair 2, but obviously it is really nice because you can still hit an opponent's upgrade if you happen to have something that's really pesky on their side of the table that you just can't get rid of. It's really nice to do. I've used it a lot. I'm sure you guys have seen it a lot in the videos of me using it to be able to repair my own character. Next one coming in here is a 1-of is going to be Vaporize. It is a blue battle icon, and then it just simply says scrap an enemy upgrade, all for the same reasons as Reprocess, just to get rid of anything from our opponent's side that's really annoying, pesky, weapons, upgrades, even if they have a utility on their own that's being really annoying, we just get to go ahead and hit that. And then finally, our last card coming in here is a 1-of, is going to be Disarm. Now, Disarm is an amazing card, always will be, always has been. It is a blue battle icon. It says return all upgrades on a character to their owner's hands. Now the one thing that's really nice about that is you can really reset a lot of characters. There's a lot of characters right now that are running around that have a bunch of upgrades attached to them, and usually if you let those upgrades sit too long, you will eventually lose the game. So being able to play something as simple as a Disarm to reset that character can be really, really powerful. And the last thing to note about Disarm is it says any character. So one thing that I will do in a lot of situations if I know my opponent has a Sabotage Armaments down themselves and I happen to have like an Ion Blaster, or even when I was doing it sometimes with the Predaking list where I had like 4 weapons attached to me, I would just disarm my own character to be able to put those upgrades back into my hand. And yes, you're going to lose them for the turn, but it's better you lose them for the turn and be able to play them, over the next couple of turns versus just straight losing all of your weapons. It can be a really bad thing for, let's say you only have that 1 Ion Blaster and you need to keep pushing damage and Prime's getting in and he's just not dealing enough, and then you lose your Ion Blaster on top of that, so you're losing momentum on attack and on defense is really, really bad. So playing something like Disarm to get it back to protect it, even for a turn, can be really, really nice. Now, one thing I didn't talk about when it came to that Field Communicator is all those cards that we use to stack the top of our deck, whether it be Reclaim or Incoming Transmission. If we don't happen to have, let's say, a metal detector, even if we do have a metal detector, this is one thing that you can play on one of the other characters to be able to get that card off the top of the deck as well. So let's say maybe you have to stack an action for whatever reason, but you don't have a way of being able to play it. Well, then you can always play the Field Communicator, which boom, allows you to play it. The one thing about Field Communicator is that it does say scrap the top card, so technically it does go from the top of the deck to the scrap pile, and then you can choose to play it from there, so your opponent would get to see what it is, whether it's a secret action or whatever the case may be, your opponent does get to see the action. Now, talking about Sideboard, I'm going to show off a character here that I've been using for quite a bit of things, and I've really been using it since the beginning, and it really has a lot of hot topic talking about recently with a couple of different things running around like Daring Escape or Overwhelming Advantage decks, a couple of different stuff that really allow you to be able to beat up characters and that is going to be Thrust. Now, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details about it, but essentially that this becomes a one-wide deck. That's the term that I've been using for a while. I've been using Thrust in Battlefield Legends since Wave 2, when Thrust did come out. And what this essentially does is becomes a one-wide deck. You can attack here, your opponent gets to go, and then you get to attack and your opponent gets to go, but you get to see that that allows your opponent to take 2 turns. However, if you get to start this out, you get 1 attack in here, then your opponent has to do all of their stuff in 1 turn. So if you get to go first, boom, you get to punch whatever character you want. You can even flip Prime here if we're not going to be going for the cargo trailer plays that early, because we're really trying to focus that main character. We get to flip over to this mode, and then you're getting in for 11 damage on that specific character. They haven't been able to play any armor, they haven't been able to flip, so they're going to take quite a bit of damage there. Then they get to play 1 card, they get to do all of their attacks. They're going to most likely be focusing on Prime, which is totally fine. The guy has 21 health and 2 defense. We're going to be blocking up a Storm, which is really, really nice. And then we get to just reset and then boom, finish that character out. So if you are having really specific problems and troubles with one character on your opponent's team and you just can't find a way to be able to take him down, with this deck specifically, or Battlefield Legend, you can really sideboard Thrust for a lot of different decks, but you have to be very careful as far as what you are doing with it, because if your main character goes down really quick and you just have Thrust left, you're in a decent spot because Thrust has 3 attack and 3 armor. And if you flip over to this mode, he's got 5 attack, but he only has 1 armor. You have to make sure that you can finish the game with your Thrust if your main character does go down before your opponent's main character. So like I said, that is something that you do have to keep in you have to keep in mind. It is very, very specific. Like I said, I've been doing this for quite a long time. The one wide just really takes a lot of momentum away from your opponent, and you don't really have to worry about it so much. Now, if your opponent gets to go first, it does get to change things a little bit, because then they get to protect their main character, and you really have to kind of navigate turns a little bit differently. But again, this is something that I've been doing for a while and is a really, really good combo to be able to do to take down those pesky main characters. Now, when it comes to talking about the more competitive version, it's really going to be more of a fine-tuned thing, and your sideboard is going to really dictate kind of what you're fighting in your area. What are some things that you really have a lot of problem with? Is a lot of upgrade characters, and then you run more disarms. You know, you can maybe go with security checkpoints as a really good double blue battle icon card to be able to hit a lot of those upgrades. You know, your opponents are super, super aggressive, so you can't really afford to run the sparring gear because that orange battle icon's killing you. You're not seeing enough. You can swap over to reinforced plating. There's quite a bit of different things that you can do as far as fighting in your meta, so those kind of things you guys will have to deal with specifically with your sideboard. But when it comes to talking about all the different cards that we're going to be replacing out of the first version, we're going to go ahead and drop them all out here, and then you guys can see. Now I'm going to be taking 9 cards out of the casual list, is what I'll call it. But like I said, a lot of these things you can kind of argue as far as staying, keeping going. Metal Detector is even a card that you can really consider keeping in for the more competitive side of things, because it does still give you a lot of access to being able to get a lot of really nice, cool upgrades off the top of the deck. However, I can see the argument with how it's inconsistent, because you really can't play with what's on top of the deck, because you are, you know, the only card you have that's going in there is Incoming Transmission. And again, we're going to always be trying to spend most of our time attacking in this mode. So, gonna leave that up there. Now, when it comes to taking out these 9 cards, what are we going to be replacing them with? So, let's talk about Cargo Trailer first. Let me move these off the table. Let's going to be getting rid of Cargo Trailer. What 3 am I going to be bringing in? And the answer is going to be Handheld Blaster. Now, first off, Handheld Blaster is a double blue battle icon card, so it really helps us out on defense. Really nice stuff. It is a weapon and does give us access to Bold 1. Now, again, we're really going to be trying to attack most of the time in this mode, and that Bold 1 can be really relevant for us to be able to proc his ability to get an additional upgrade off the top of the deck, which is really, really good stuff. I'm trying to think about how I can divvy them out here for you. Boom, we'll do that. Now, the next 3 we're going to be getting rid of in here is going to be Reclaim. Now, I'm going to be getting rid of Reclaim for 3 different cards. First off, we're going to be putting in another Marksmanship. Really good stuff for that extra bit of damage to be able to push that 2 damage. Again, all the same reasons before. And we're going to be bringing in a 3rd Ion Blaster of Optimus Prime. Again, we really want those cards to be able to show up. We're really trying to push to be able to get the extra upgrades off of this side. So we're going to try to see this thing more. And then we're going to be bringing in a 3rd Matrix of Leadership. Because of this ability, we want that orange and that blue battle icon. And then obviously we can keep stacking those utilities. And then obviously if we can get 2 of these out, then our other characters are getting +2 Pierce 2. We could be getting in for some pretty good damage off of that alone. And then the last 3 coming in that we're going to be replacing is going to be those metal detectors. First 2 we're going to be bringing in is Noble's Blaster. Now, Noble's Blaster cannot work on Flame War because you can only put on Autobots. However, it's really nice on Prime and or on Skydive. It is a blue and a green battle icon, so we get to fish it up whenever we want it. It does say we get +2, and then does give that character, attacking character, Pierce 2 going up against Decepticons. Now, this is a card that you can really kind of argue going back and forth whether or not you want it in. I'm going to show you guys here in just a second another suggestion that I'm going to make, and then the last one to come in is going to be a second disarm. Now, I do believe that 2 disarms in the deck is perfectly fine. I think that it is super useful, especially if you happen to flip Prime for the turn, get it off the top of the deck. Even with that, it counts as a free action. You get to reset your opponent's character, you get to go back into what other mode that you want, and then you're able to really kind of get some benefit off of that. And then again, we get to go back into this mode, do all of our dirty attacking and all that good jazz. Now, when it comes to talking about one more little sub, is when it comes to these marksmanships or even the Ion Blaster here, everything else I'd say is good. These 4 is where you're going to kind of have your little bit of space to move and kind of mess around with. Is going to be these 4 cards here. We're going to be bringing in potentially 3 leap into battle in that slot. It's going to be a blue battle icon, really nice, and gives us +3 attack. Really nice when we flip to this mode with Prime to be able to get that, bringing us to that base 10 attack. Really good stuff. If you happen to have then an Ion Blaster on, then we're going to be getting in for 12. You have maybe a Matrix or 2. Like, it gets really, really crazy. Plus, it's a really nice action to be able to play. Even on the littler characters, it can sometimes be enough to be able to push enough damage for those little characters to be able to finish things out as well. Because then you're getting in for 6 here, or you're getting in for 6 on Flame War, and then I do recommend keeping the Field Communicators in the deck even for the more competitive side of things. That free card off the top can be really nice when you don't have another upgrade to play for the turn, and then that +1 can also be nice as well. Plus it's a white battle icon, so it does help us with Prime's attack here to be able to try to get that ability. And then the last one coming in is going to be Bashing Shield. Now, this is going to be primarily in there if your opponent's running a lot of armors, obviously. Bashing Shield's a orange and a green battle icon, helping us out with half of Prime's attack, giving us that +1 defense, which can be very relevant. And then it does say when you put this on a character, you scrap an enemy armor. So if we are trying to get rid of those force fields, maybe they have sparring gears themselves or reinforced platings, even a terrifying resilience, whatever the case may be, this is going to be a really nice card to be able to try to get rid of that when it does come to those things. So really, this is going to be your 4 options that I'm going to kind of leave open. These are 4 suggestions I would make. One thing that you can also argue putting in here is going to be Work Overtime. I think Work Overtime is a really good card. However, it depends on how many cards that you're going to have in your hand. Work Overtime for me is more of a sideboard card. I know a lot of people have been talking about it recently, that and System Reboot. And again, it's going to be more divvied up to what you're going to be going up against your meta. If you have a lot of shockwaves in your meta, then I definitely recommend that you have those Work Overtimes in your spare. Or if your opponent's running Fog of Wars, which is starting to get a lot more play here recently, then that's going to be a really nice card to have in there as well. So if you do need to refresh your hand, I think that is a really good card and a great suggestion as well. Alrighty, so there you guys have 2 different decks, whether or not you want to be a little more casual with it, a little more fun with it, or if you want to go a little more competitive with it. There's a couple of different lists that'll really help you guys really get started with this character, with this team. And then again, I obviously recommend that you guys make any adjustments based on your local games, whether, you know, your friends play, you know, specific cards, or again, you want to have it a little more fun, then you just kind of go back to the cargo trailers and mess around with it a little bit that way. I did post a gameplay of this deck in action going up against another list that I did do some commentating on, so you guys get to kind of see a lot of the stuff, how it works. I'm going to be putting a link to that in the description box below. I'm also going to be posting another gameplay going up against Skytread. You guys will be able to see how that stuff works and how that Skytread works, because it's honestly a fantastic deck, so I want you guys to be able to see that as well. So I really hope that you guys did enjoy this deck's breakdown. Really hope that you guys did enjoy understanding all the cards, all the different playthroughs with it. If you guys did, obviously a like would be greatly appreciated. Make sure you guys subscribe so you guys can get access to all of our content as soon as it becomes available. And then if you are interested in supporting the channel a little more, make sure you guys head over to patreon.com/poweredbyprimus so you guys can check out all the different ways that you guys can support the channel and all the different rewards that you guys can get from Patreon. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.